This universe is not just a stage. Every moment, every encounter, every emotion follows a law. We live within that flow, and now we begin to uncover its truth together. Welcome to the law of the universe, where your consciousness begins to awaken.
The spiritual meaning behind suffering and healing question. I have been experiencing frequent illnesses since my 20s. Despite listening to these teachings for over 2 years, I've recently started feeling discomfort and a mild fever in my lungs and bronchial area for the past month. I'm struggling to identify the exact cause of these symptoms. Many people in the world also suffer from illnesses and hardships. Understanding the cause would make it easier to treat them properly. Could you please explain a way to easily find the root cause? Answer: when a person becomes ill, they are prompted to seek help from others. If one could resolve everything on their own, illness wouldn't arise. According to the law of nature, if an illness occurs due to a problem one cannot solve alone, it means that person is meant to seek assistance. This could be from a doctor or someone else. Moving to ask for help leads to meeting others. It is a method to create human connection. Illness drives those who are unwilling to move into action. Through that movement, one encounters people with specific talents or environments. This is an invitation to learn something. The occurrence of such a situation is a message. Learn the cause behind it. However, if one only tries to treat the illness and refuses to learn from it, the illness will return. Continuous illness means continuous need for help. While taking medicine is important, first, one must absorb the energy contained in the words of others. Physical illness is due to a lack of energy mass in the soul. You must first increase the mass of your soul to properly care for your body. To grow the soul's energy mass, you must listen attentively to others. The energy received from others' words is like a spiritual tonic. One should receive this spiritual energy first before using material medicine. Medicine is physical. Spiritual energy is non-physical. This non-physical energy does not come from the sky, it comes through people. Therefore, an ill person must not be stubborn but instead must listen well to others. Stubbornness worsens the condition. Listening to others eventually leads you to someone who can provide the information or help you truly need. If you refuse to listen and remain confined in your own knowledge and beliefs, you begin to doubt others and grow irritable. As a result, the person who could have helped does not appear. There is a law in nature. Illness occurs due to mismanagement of the physical body. One must receive help from others. Accepting others' words without rejecting them allows you to absorb energy. Once enough energy is absorbed, someone who can truly help will appear. These connections are given with precision. Moving to listen to others is often necessary because you once rejected help in the past. People who are very stubborn later face many hardships because they refused many blessings that were once offered to them. When you are sick, you must become humble and open to others' words. That's when healing begins. The more you listen, the more your capabilities grow, and that becomes knowledge and energy that fills the soul. This also allows you to overcome viruses and discern useful words from others, using them wisely. Pain always has a reason. You must find and absorb that reason. If you had properly accepted the many connections and opportunities you were given, you could have helped others as well. When a flaw appears, it is meant to teach you a profound lesson. Once that lesson is mastered, the flaw disappears. If you remain stubborn, the condition worsens, and more learning will be required. If your body is struggling, it means you must learn quickly. Only by finding the true cause can the problem be resolved. Temporary relief is not a true solution. True healing comes through understanding and awakening. Do not focus only on curing the illness. Embrace the surrounding circumstances it creates. Then, you will come to understand the strength and the conditions necessary to heal yourself. Why illness comes. A simplified teaching by Master CHEON GONG. Small diamond. Why do we get sick? Illness is not just a physical problem. It's a sign that your soul's energy is low. When your inner energy is lacking, your body becomes weak. That's why, when you're sick, you're meant to seek help from others. Small diamond. Why listening to others matters. Sickness forces you to move, to meet others, to ask for help, and to listen. In doing so, you're guided to learn something important. Light bulb. Pain makes those who refuse to move, finally move. Illness connects you with people who have knowledge, skills, or wisdom you need. Small diamond. What comes before medicine? Physical medicine, what we take as pills, is important, but what comes first is spiritual medicine, the energy that comes through people's words. This invisible energy, or soul medicine, strengthens your spirit. Only after that can physical medicine truly work. Small diamond. What happens if you're stubborn? If you ignore others and stay stuck in your own thoughts, you'll feel more pain. You'll miss the people meant to help you. You'll face more suffering because you rejected help in the past. Those who are proud or stubborn often suffer more because they don't listen. Small diamond. How to begin healing. Be humble when you're sick. Listen carefully to others. Accept the help and lessons life brings you. Reflect on why the illness came. What lesson are you being asked to learn? By doing this, you build up your soul's energy. And when your soul is full, your body will follow. Small diamond. Final message. Don't just try to get rid of the illness. Understand what it's trying to teach you. Your pain is not a punishment, it's an opportunity to grow, connect, and heal deeply from the inside out. This is the story based on the above articles. Why she began to walk again. Fiction. Healing human connection. Self-growth based on the teachings of Master CHEON. GONG. Tucked in a quiet alley on the northern edge of Seoul was a small, aging clinic. Inside, one particular patient had been visiting more frequently. Her name was Eugene. At 33, Eugene had once been a successful TV scriptwriter, talented, sharp, and always busy. But over the past year, strange symptoms had taken hold: a lingering cough, tightness in her chest, low fevers that came and went. No test could find a clear cause. No medication worked. Probably stress. Try resting more, every doctor said. But rest terrified her. Without work, without deadlines, who was she? The silence was louder than illness. One cold morning, in desperation, she stepped into a place she hadn't visited in decades, Ihon Oriental Clinic, the one her mother used to take her to as a child. The clinic looked frozen in time. A wooden sign creaked in the wind, and the familiar scent of herbs filled the air. A middle-aged man greeted her quietly. He was the current practitioner, gently crushing dried roots in a mortar. "You carry a lot of weight," he said softly. Startled, Eugene paused. He hadn't even asked her name. "My chest feels heavy. I keep getting fevers, but doctors don't know why." "The illness won't leave," he replied, "because your soul hasn't started listening yet." She blinked. "I didn't come for a philosophy lesson. I just want to get better." Instead of medicine, he handed her an old notebook. "From today, write down every meaningful word you hear from others. Conversations, advice, even passing comments. That's your medicine." At first, Eugene scoffed. But she had no other options. She opened the notebook later that night and wrote one line from a cafe encounter. "Stubborn young people get sick more easily," an elderly woman had muttered beside her. Eugene had rolled her eyes, but still, she wrote it down. A few days later, a young man at a bus stop said, "Sometimes we stay sick because we haven't learned what the sickness is teaching us." That went into the notebook too. Soon, her scribbles grew. And strangely, her heart softened. When she returned to the clinic weeks later, the herbalist smiled. "You're starting to hear," he said. "I think, I get it now. My illness wasn't just something to fight, it was something to listen to." Exactly. Before you take physical medicine, you must absorb spiritual medicine, the energy that comes through people's words. She laughed. "So, am I finally ready for real herbs?" He nodded and handed her a pouch of tea. Weeks passed. Slowly, Eugene returned to writing, but not for ratings or awards. She wrote stories for people like her, those who were hurting, stuck, unsure why. Her symptoms eased. But more than that, her way of seeing people had changed. Now, she listened. In every conversation, she found energy. In every complaint or kindness, she heard lessons. And one day, while journaling on her balcony, she wrote, "It wasn't the illness that brought me down, it was the illness that taught me how to rise." Authors note sickness often feels like an enemy, but sometimes it's your teacher in disguise. As Master CHEON GONG teaches, illness doesn't just ask you to heal, It asks you to listen, to grow, and to connect with others. If you're struggling right now, try listening, truly listening, to the voices around you. There may be spiritual medicine hidden in someone's words, just waiting for you to take it in. The end. Have you ever experienced an illness that changed the way you see life? Share your story in the comments. Someone may need to hear it today.